Spike Robot here with another video, this time a live review. Today we are going to be reviewing Jaws 2. Jaws 2 is the sequel to that shark movie blockbuster that was released on June 16th, 1978. Is this a worthy follow-up or a disaster of a sequel? Well, this review is going to answer that question. Now let's of course start with the story. The story consists of, you guessed it, another shark coming to Amity Island and gobbling people up. But this time the shark mainly causes boating accidents for many boaters, including Chief Martin Brody's sons. Personally, I think the original Jaws is not a movie you can do a sequel to. And my whole description of that story proves it. But the story might have been on par with the original if it was not so fucking boring. Despite what many people say, I actually don't think that sequels are inherently bad. There are actually several sequels that succeed in giving us a different story with the same characters. But they also succeed in giving us all or most of the things that made the original great. But Jaws 2 is not one of them. It is so boring, I actually almost fell asleep to it. I did not even know that it was possible for a shark movie of all fucking things to be boring. But this movie found a way. And on top of that, they even brought back that bastard mayor from the original Jaws movie for no good reason. You might as well bore me to death. Putting a boring prick like the mayor in a shitty boring movie with the exact same plot as the original Jaws, without any of the nuances of killing a shark, is just shit that will spell disaster. They don't even attempt to kill the shark until the very end of the movie. Up until then, we have a goddamn boring story that has way too fucking many scenes of people being gobbled up by a shark. Because the writers think that that's thrilling. Watching people being attacked and devoured by sharks is not thrilling at fucking all. It is horrifying. The reason the first Jaws movie worked is because it states firmly that if a shark was eating people on a beach resort, it would not be fun. Oh, and they actually tried to kill the goddamn shark. There is only one good thing I could say about the story. I liked how they brought back Brody. They actually included a character from the first movie, and did not create some new bland character like the next Jaws sequels did. But perhaps the thing that pissed me off the most is just like in the first movie, the citizens of Amity Island don't believe Brody when he says there's a shark eating people. There is no fucking reason for them not to believe Brody. Now, in the first movie, when they did not believe him, it was convenient to the story, but it makes enough sense that they would not believe him. If he was right about it the first time, then they have every reason to believe him now. It's just so frustrating to see characters act so fucking irrationally just because it's in service to the story. Even worse, Brody gets fired from his job as a police chief. Are you fucking serious? Who the fuck thought that was a good idea? There is no reason for the writers to do this. How the hell does those people not believing you get you fired from your job? Sure, telling a bullshit story out of fear is not noble in any way, shape, or form. But what Brody was saying was true. And the town had every reason in the world to believe him. There are so many things wrong with this fucking part. It belongs in Mars Needs Bombs. It's also very gut-wrenching when Brody is all like, I'm fired out of a gun. The climax where they actually do kill the goddamn shark is lame compared to the original Jaws. In the first one, the shark gets blown up. In the sequel, the shark bites on a cable and burns his teeth, and that's it. How much more fucking anticlimactic can you fucking get? Okay, as for the production values, the cinematography is good, the editing is good, the sound is good, the sets are good, and however, I don't really remember the music that much, but I do remember it having the Jaws theme from the first one. That's just something you have to have. Jaws 2 is a terrible sequel and a terrible movie on its own. I have not seen Jaws 3 or Jaws the Revenge, and after seeing Jaws 2, I don't want to see them. Sure, they may be worse objectively, but very few sequels have enraged me as much as this one has. The story is completely boring and has a stupid example of plot convenience. However, the production values are not bad, but that's not enough for me to like it. This movie is terrible. It's really fucking terrible. I give Jaws 2 1 out of 5 stars with the title of horrible. Anyway, I'm Spike Robot. Thank you all for watching, and see you next time.